Hi, everybody. It's Ms. Koza. Today, we're starting something new at our community. It's called CMS Learns, and this is going to happen every other week on Wednesdays during homeroom to build our awareness for a stronger school community. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things that help us be a better community and be better individuals. So let's start by looking ahead. What are we going to learn about? So, the first thing I thought I would do is go over some key terms with you, things that you're going to be hearing a lot about. And I want to make sure that we are all on the same page to understand what these terms mean. So, if you look on the left, you're going to see the word diversity. You've heard that word before, but let's talk about what it really means. It's the condition of having or being composed of different elements, variety, especially the inclusion of different types of people in a group or organization. In our case, we're talking about diversity in our school. The other word I want you to take a look at here is on the right, inclusive. What does it mean to be an inclusive school community? Well, what it means is it's a community where no one is left out. It describes how much one feels welcomed, respected, supported, and valued. It's so important that everyone feels that they belong. It's about seeing the person's whole self and recognizing that their differences make them uniquely qualified to contribute to our whole school. So it's very important that we think about what it means to be an inclusive school community and work our way towards that. I thought I would drill into diversity a little bit more because I think we need to really understand what that means. And if you look to the right, it lists a couple of the areas where we might think about diversity. So, individual and group differences and similarities that can be visible or invisible. That's kind of important to note and occur in a cognitive or demographic manifestation. That means how they come about, including socioeconomic class, race, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, physical and cognitive ability, religion, language, national origin, family type, generation, and more. So diversity is lots of things. And I thought we would talk about what that looks like with this video here. Diversity is natural. So let's learn a little bit more about that.
Being different has never been a problem in nature. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Nature embraces and encourages diversity. Diversity of colors, shapes, flavors, and even genders. A beautiful flower can be female, male, or both at the same time. Nature has no preconceptions. It doesn't matter if a pumpkin is wide, narrow, beautiful, happy, or scary looking. Even your everyday corn can have varieties and colors you cannot even imagine. In fact, having combinations of different crops only brings advantages to farming. Diversity helps produce larger and better yields. Being different is quite normal in nature. Differences are what make species more adaptable and stronger. They are essential for species to evolve. So don't be left behind. Evolving the way we think isn't always easy. It is a seed that needs to be cultivated by each and every one of us. And this is why we have to take care of it with tolerance, respect, and empathy. That will help us harvest a much better and more inclusive world. And that change begins with you, with me, with all of us.
I like how that video talks about evolving our thinking because I think that's what we're going to need to do as we grow. Even adults, we're all learning together as we go along here. So let me get out of here and get back in. Let's go over a couple more terms together. So, another term you're going to hear a lot about, if you haven't heard already, is the term anti-racist. And what that means is an anti-racist person is somebody who is actively working for a society where we aren't oppressed because of our differences, where every person gets to be their whole self and honored for that. And then some more terms you're going to hear are equality versus equity. It's important to know that there's a difference here. So, equality means each individual or group of people is given the same resources and opportunities. Equity recognizes that each person has different circumstances and allocates the exact resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal outcome. We think a lot about this in our classroom, how we teach, but it also means how we cultivate a sense of belonging together. Another term you're going to hear is social justice. Social justice is the view that everyone deserves to enjoy the same economic, political, and social rights, regardless of race, socioeconomic status, gender, or any other characteristic. So, social justice means equal rights and equitable opportunities for all, using both of those terms we just learned. So, if you look here on the left, this image, on the far left is an image of what equality might look like. Everyone's at the game. Equity, you can see there's a little difference there. And justice is the far right image. So I want you to think about that image for a minute and distinguishing the differences between those images. Look carefully at each of the pictures here. You're going to see the terms that we just reviewed at the bottom of each picture. What differences do you see? And what about each picture helps define the term at the bottom? So I'm going to give you a few minutes, or actually a few seconds probably, just to take a good look at this. If you look at what inequality looks like compared to equality, equity looks like compared to justice. Take a minute. Interesting to think about, isn't it? So here's this image, and we've defined it a little more for you. So if you look on the left, inequality, unequal access to opportunities. One person on this picture does not have access to the apples in the same way that the other child does. Equality, evenly distributed tools and assistance. So each child here has a ladder, but one can reach the apples and the other can't. So we have to question about equality there. Equity, if you look at the bottom left, custom tools that identify and address inequality. So as you can see, each person in the picture on the bottom left has a ladder that will help each of them access the fruit. And then on the right, justice, fixing the system to offer equal access to both tools and opportunities. So you can kind of see there's some wood and some wire that helps keep that tree upright so everyone has access and all the tools they need to access those apples. So the differences in those terms is important, and we're going to learn more about them over time. So, what's next for CMS Learns? The next time we meet, we're going to talk about microaggressions. If you haven't heard that term before, we're going to explain that to you and what that looks like. What are microaggressions? How do we respond to microaggressions? And what do I do if I commit a microaggression? I want to remind us that we're all learning, we're all trying to figure out how to be better people and in a more diverse world and create a school that is stronger for everybody. So, the next time we meet, we'll talk about microaggressions and learn more about it. Before we leave today, what I'd like you to do, I've sent you an email. I'd like you to check your email and I'd like you to answer one of the questions here because we're going to learn more about what you need through this Google form. So you'll see the questions on the left. Today's lesson was helpful because today I learned one thing I want others to know is, and one thing I wonder is. And we will review your answers and build upon your thoughts for future lessons. That's it for today for CMS Learns. Hope everyone has a great day.